Hey there, it's Tony Policastro from Tony's Acoustic Challenge, and I am super extra pumped for today's 37th monthly live member hangout. I've got a ton of stuff to go over today. We're going to talk about palm muting. I'm going to give away some guitars. There's some exciting site announcements coming up, and I just have a hankering to answer your questions as well, whether they be gear related, playing related, you name it. But all that and more right after this. My name is Tony Policastro. I'm part of an underground group of acoustic guitar enthusiasts you've probably never heard of. We're not here to play face-melting guitar solos or judge other guitar players. Our purpose is much greater than that. For us, it's about expanding our quality of life through music and having fun with our guitar, not just mastering it. Getting better at guitar is proof that we do have what it takes to be a guitar player, which means we can build stronger bonds with friends and create lasting musical family traditions. But if you asked a guitar snob or a music academic, they would turn up their nose and say their way is better. Yet this way of seeing the guitar is changing lives every single day. We follow a specific framework and set of values that keeps us focused on what matters most: human connection, constant progress, and fun. It's happening, and we call it living the acoustic life. This is our acoustic life, and these are our stories. Hey there, Tony Policastro here again from Tony's Acoustic Challenge, and today I'm super pumped because we're going to talk about palm muting. I've got a ton of really awesome announcements about the site, as well as we're going to have plenty of time to do a question and answer session live right here, right now. And I just want to first say hello to both Levi and Noah, who are here standing by. They're going to help with fielding, shoot me questions that you guys are asking in the comments. And of course, when it comes time for our small win celebration, Noah's going to help out with that. And both these guys are looking fantastic this morning. I don't know if it was in the memo, but we're all wearing different shades of blue, so I'm pretty pumped.
I didn't even realize that until now. So you're very studious.
Yeah, I didn't either until I looked at Noah and I saw that blue flannel. It's really good.
Right. Yeah, I realized I had to get away from the lumberjack. It was like Red Wednesdays for me. So it's like I'm gonna go with a different color flannel today.
Well, good. Well, I'm pumped. Although we're wearing blue, we're very excited and we're not sad at all. Today we're gonna talk about palm muting. Let me have a quick sip of my coffee, my Taylor approved coffee here. Cheers to you guys and thanks for being here. Today we're gonna talk about palm muting. And palm muting is something that I initially ran into when I was first getting into guitar. And it was very much in the electric guitar environment. You know, you crank up your distortion and you just kind of do that rhythm. I was a metalhead, so that's exactly what I did. And later on, I started learning acoustic guitar, and the only thing that I really brought over from the electric guitar was palm muting, and it always sounded odd and out of place on the acoustic guitar until I learned how to actually use it in the right places, in the right environments. So that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about when we're going to use it, why we're going to use it, and how to actually do it. So let's talk about the first aspect of that, and that's why would you use palm muting? It seems like palm muting, which for those who don't know, I'll give a quick description of it. It sounds like this. So you're essentially muting the strings, and you think to yourself, well, on acoustic guitar, why on earth would I palm mute? It seems like you're just diminishing the tone of your acoustic guitar. I mean, we buy acoustic guitars because they're pleasing to our ear. They sound nice, they ring, they have wonderful sustain, they have beautiful overtones, and then you throw your hand on the bridge and all of a sudden you diminish all those overtones. Why the heck would we do this? Well, I want you to think of it as a flavor. You know, you don't run over to your spice cabinet and find the, I don't cook all that often, but like crushed ginger and dump the whole thing in there. You use it sparingly and in the right circumstances, in the right instances. So in the case of palm muting, this isn't a technique you're going to use 100% of the time. This isn't a technique you're going to use 80% of the time. This is another sonic flavor that lives in your sonic toolbox, and that's the reason I want to go over it today, because it's something that in the right in the right environment, paired with the right song, can add such a beautiful texture to the song. And that's a word I really am going to harp on a lot here. It's a texture. It's a rhythmic texture. It almost has this percussive effect. It almost has this background kind of very full sound. Even though it's not very loud, it's a very full sound. It takes up a lot of sonic space. So palm muting, once you master it and once you apply it to the right song, to the right environment, to the right instance, it's going to be an asset and something that you definitely need to learn. And this is great, if you find yourself in a jam with, 3 other guitarists or maybe another guitarist and a vocalist, and you're kind of that extra guitar, this is something you can add right away that's going to add dimension and depth to any musical situation, which is one of the reasons I'm going to dedicate the whole first part of our member hangout to this. So how do you palm mute? What's the whole idea? Well, the whole notion is to still get tone out of your strings and not choke the strings off. And this is kind of a delicate balancing act. So whether you're finger picking or flat picking, and I'll get into that here in just a second. I'll show you a couple examples. Essentially what you're doing is taking the meat of the palm of your hand. Think if you drew a straight line from your pinky down to that kind of edge of your palm there. And you're going to place that on the saddle, okay? Right on that white part, right on top of the bridge. And you want to be on the saddle, not in front of the saddle. If you're in front of the saddle, and for our fretting hand, we'll just go ahead and make a standard G chord. For the sake of demonstration here, you don't want to be too far in front of the saddle because you're not going to get any tone at all. It's just going to sound clicky. You can't hear that that's a G chord. But as you start to slowly move your palm back, and again, it's this part of my palm, as you start to slowly move it back, you'll hear the tones start to kind of blossom out. And usually for me, I notice that my palm is kind of resting almost on the bridge pins, with the fleshy part of my palm definitely covering the saddle and the strings. That's what's going to allow some of the tone to eke through, but not give you that full chord sound. So here's a full, just non-muted, and here's a palm muted. It's a subtle difference, but it kind of, again, it has this really nice fat, round sound, and that's what we're going for with palm muting. Now, I'm using a flat pick here to demonstrate, and you'll notice that when I'm palm muting, I'm mostly using downstrokes. And that's just for the sake of ease. When my palm is on that saddle, it's a lot easier for me to just do downstrokes. But that doesn't mean you're limited to downstrokes. You can even cross pick with this. So you can really, any flat picking technique that you already know, you can use in conjunction with palm muting. But just know this, sometimes palm muting will affect your picking hand placement and will make some of those techniques that were formerly easy a little bit more difficult, because to achieve the tone for palm muting, you have to have your palm on the saddle of the guitar. Which brings me to my next point. This is with a flat pick. You can also palm mute with a finger pick. In fact, or while finger picking rather. A great example is Mississippi John Hurt. If you ever listen to any of his recordings, a lot of his bass notes have this really wonderfully thumpy quality, and that's because he's muting them. And when you're finger picking, one thing to keep in mind, if you're palm muting and finger picking at the same time, generally speaking, you want to mute your bass notes and not your melody notes. This isn't all the time, but I find this the easiest, and I find it the most effective, because this allows the melody or the higher strings to speak clearly, while the bass is nice and round and kind of thumpy. As I mentioned before, I'll give you an example here. Well. So it's kind of a nice flavor for finger picking as well. So palm muting is not just a flat picking thing. It's not just an electric guitar thing, as I just demonstrated here. When using your flat pick, again, just in recap, when using your flat pick, generally focus on the downstrokes to start. Once you get comfortable with that, then start integrating upstrokes and other techniques you may know, such as cross picking or even strumming. And as far as finger picking goes, really focus on muting those bass notes, because this will allow the melody, the notes you play on the higher strings, to speak nice and clear, kind of over that cushion of really nice thumpy bass, which is so characteristic of a lot of those old-time blues finger pickers, Mississippi John Hurt, Furry Lewis, Mance Lipscomb, any of those guys. So that's kind of the secret to palm muting. But really, regardless of what you're doing, whether you're flat picking or finger picking, the key to palm muting is getting good tone, meaning that your palm, the fleshy part of your palm, is sitting on the saddle. Not too far forward, but just right on the saddle, so you're still getting good tone, so you can hear the string's tone actually speak. But it has that round, thumpy quality. Now, the next question is, well, where and when do I apply this technique? Because at the beginning I said you can't do this all the time, and that's true. You wouldn't want to go to every single jam and kind of, next song. Then it can become very one-dimensional. However, if you're playing with a singer and a guitarist and you want to add, and you're the second guitarist and you want to add kind of a nice little flavor, there's nothing wrong with palm muting and just doing a downstrum on the quarter notes. So let's say the other guitarist is doing something like this. Right? So that's the one guitarist happening. And while you come in and kind of support that with something like, it sounds boring by itself, but when paired with that other guitar, it's really it really provides a nice depth of tone that I think palm muting is so good at. It really provides another tonal facet, if you will. Another instance where you can use palm muting is during a solo. During kind of a soft, maybe a more slow song, maybe a waltz, something that's a little bit, think sad, think kind of a sad tune. You can do any old solo and palm mute it. And it just creates a nice dynamic for even if it's a sensitive tune, you don't want to come out of the gate and be. That's a little too much. So really, palm muting is about matching the emotion of the song, or it allows you to match the.
What is going on? Okay, we're back on. We just don't know if we're back onto this particular stream, so I'm gonna have to jump in there and see.
So we're going again?
Oh, we're having some big stream issues. CPU. Okay, we may be rolling.
I'm ready. We're rolling.
It's like our internet, because this stream is just dropping. Like it.
I thought I saw the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everything else is good now.
Sometimes that happens.
Okay, I think give it a shot. Can anybody see us?
Are we back?
We might be.
Okay. Am I waiting for your point?
Yeah, you're waiting until
should
we
I just
get the,
ramble?
We're gonna get the.
They say something's happening. Hooray!
Something's happening.
Yay! Back live. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, at least we lost 200 people, but we're ready to roll. Okay, definitely rolling.
All right, we're back.
Well, you know what? Maybe a little reflection. Sorry about that, guys. We had a little internet thing. Maybe.
We had an internet thing.
So, Tony, do you even remember where you?
I know exactly where I was
okay.
at, but I might just go back one notch.
Sure, a little recap.
A little recap. So we talked about palm muting. Sorry again for the technical difficulties. I am suspicious that it's the construction that's happening right outside our window, but hey, I could be wrong. Anyways, let's go back to palm muting. So we talked about why we would palm mute. We talked about how to palm mute, but when do we actually apply it? And I talked about, adding another sonic dimension when playing with another guitarist. During a slow song, maybe if you want a solo, you can do a nice palm muted solo that really fits that perfect little sonic piece of pie that's carved out. It's very minimalistic, but the tone is very impactful. And last but certainly not least, and this is where I started to use palm muting the most, and still do to this day, if I don't know a chord, I actually will just palm mute and play the root of the chord. And where I left off before the internet kind of crapped out on us, I said, if a B minor comes up, and say just you know the B minor, you can make it, but you struggle getting to it. A great link is if you're playing along, let's say you're in the key of D, and it goes to a G, and then the B minor's next, and you think, oh, here comes that B minor. You can actually just play the root. And actually, it's a great kind of a step in the progression of starting to integrate bar chords. So palm muting is as wonderful as it is to add sonic variety and different textures. It actually is a great survival skill as well. So palm muting can be used in conjunction with just the root of a chord if you just want to fill it in, right? So palm muting is kind of a diverse skill. It can be applied in a lot of different instances, and it's something that I think if you haven't done it already, you should at least try it. And you can try it in so many different ways. You can try anything you know already, be it a simple chord. Maybe it's a C chord. Maybe it's just a D chord. Just start laying your palm on top of the saddle and start messing with the sound. You're too far forward, it's going to get clicky. In the sweet spot, you have nice tone. You can actually hear the chord. So that's essentially what palm muting can do for you, and how you can go today and actually just start applying it as soon as you grab your guitar. Just start messing with it. I think you'll find a ton of different avenues to use it. And at this point, hopefully, if we're still connected, I would love to entertain questions. So Noah, Levi, standing by, probably questions I'm assuming would be coming in, hopefully not just about the internet.
So we do have, we have most people are back.
Awesome.
Okay, so
great.
we actually have...
Welcome back, and thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah,
Holy
basically
cow.
everybody popped back.
Sweet.
But also...
Well, cheers again.
Also, now's the time to ask questions. Noah and I will collect them and get them over to Tony.
Yeah.
So Noah, do you have a few?
Absolutely. Let's jump in. Kirk M, is there an adjustment that can be made for the higher pitched strings? I find myself hitting the high E accidentally regularly.
Adjustment that can be made for the high. Well, this can be done a couple of different ways. I guess I'll answer the question in two instances. One on the fretting hand, and then the other on the picking hand. And I think as far as the picking hand's concerned, one of the best things you can do in terms of stopping hitting the high E accidentally is really get a good feel of where it's at. And I say this, it's almost counterintuitive, but a lot of times it feels like that high E jumps out of nowhere, especially if you're, picking something, intricate or like cross picking or something like that. Sometimes we accidentally hit that high E. So the best thing to do is from each string, and I'll show you that, I'll do my best to go slow through this. Make any chord, preferably a 6-string chord like a G or an E major or even an E minor, whatever's comfortable for you. I like G. And start on the low E string, do a downstroke there, and go all the way to the high E and do an upstroke there. And then go to the A string, down on it, high on the up, an upstroke on the high E. Back to the D string, up on the high E, G, up on the high E, B, up on the high E. This gives you a sense of where that string is actually at. So now that you're intentionally hitting it, I want you to actually adjust and do the same thing, but just do an upstroke on the B string. So it would be down on the low E, up on the B. Down on the A, up on the B. Down on the D, up on the B. Down on the G, up on the B. Right? So now you're getting a sense of on your particular guitar, because the string spacing at the bridge is really unique to each and every guitar. There's general measurements, but depending on what size, what the nut width is, that'll generally speaking, will affect the spacing at the bridge. But what you're doing there is getting a sense of the real estate, where you can and can't go. And by intentionally hitting the B string and intentionally hitting the high E string, you actually start to get a feel for where those strings are. So when you want to avoid them, you know what it feels like to not hit them by actually intentionally hitting them. Hopefully that makes sense. And then as far as the fretting hand, if you're kind of just like, let's say the C chord is really a great example where your index finger kind of hits that high E and causes a muted sound. So there's two things you can actually do. First of all is really over-exaggerate fretting on your fingertips. This is going to get more arch in your fingers and actually give a little bit more clearance to that high E string. The second thing you can do is actually, instead of moving your palm away from the fretboard, move it closer to the fretboard. This gives you more arch in your fingers and therefore allows, again, more clearance for that high E string. So you go, two tips, both regarding the high E, one on the picking hand, one on the fretting hand. Hopefully that was what your question was around. If it wasn't, please just chime in again and just be a little bit more specific, and I'm happy to help out.
So we have questions flooding in, Tony. So anytime you want to hit an announcement while we collect these.
Oh yeah.
These questions.
I'm happy to hit an announcement right now. If it's too early, that's okay. If it's not okay, you just tell me, Levi.
I don't know. Let's do one. I mean, just we kind of been messing around.
We may as well do one. Let's do an announcement. Well, my first announcement is something that's very exciting. You guys have probably noticed this already, but I want to announce it officially. The new homepage is here. It is so cool, and I'm so pumped about it. I find myself becoming immediately hooked. Now, I log in every day as a matter of, answering people's comments and questions and things like that. But I can't tell you how amazing it feels to see the fact that I logged in every single day. It just feels good. That streak, those little stats, those go a long way. At least they do for me, and hopefully they do for you. So I'm super pumped about the new homepage. I also love how with one click you can get right back to where you were. Let's say you were in the middle of working on an exercise and little Johnny barfed on your floor. And now Johnny may be a dog, a cat, or a small child. Whatever the case may be, there's barf on the floor. You got to go clean it up, and then you just get carried away, and all of a sudden you're not exercising. Well, when you log in the next day, one click and you can go right back to the exercise that you were on right before. So it's pretty exciting. And Levi, I would love for you to show folks around if you don't mind.
Let's do it.
For those who haven't seen it yet.
All right, let's see if I can figure this out. Hold on here. Hold on.
Okay, so I'm really excited to show you the new member homepage here. When you
Sort of.
log in, you'll automatically be starting on this page from now on. So let me just go down the list of all the cool, helpful things that are now baked into this new homepage. Now, of course, you've probably seen this has been there for a good month or so, but you'll always know what's coming next by looking at this over here. And then what's starting with the new stuff, this is your new resume button. So this will always give you a link to go right back to where you were when you logged in last. So in this case, that was the lesson I was on. If I didn't complete that lesson, it'll just take me back there. If I was looking at a course, it'll take me back to that course. So super cool, and it really helps with the convenience. And speaking of convenience, we now have today's exercise when you first log in. So that will remove a couple clicks for you. So you can immediately just hit play and kind of take a look at what you're going to be getting into, read a little bit of Tony's description, and then when you hit start, that takes you immediately right to that lesson, and you can start right from there. And then the other cool thing is you can actually view the previous 5 practice sessions. So you can go to last Thursday, Friday, and then to this Monday, this Tuesday, and then to today. But as soon as you log in, you always see today's exercise, and you can immediately play it. So it really allows you to jump in right away without all the clicks and know what you're getting into. Now, if you really like that monthly overview, all you have to do is go here and click month overview. It'll always take you straight to that monthly overview that you're used to seeing. And then, of course, libraries, which you're all familiar with. And then down below, this is what we're sort of calling right now the habit builder. So when you log in, you're going to get a green check on the day that you log in. And then over time, you'll be able to build up your average weekly login. So this will take a few weeks to really work. But after you've been around for a few weeks, it'll actually average several weeks together to give you a number. And of course, what we're shooting for is 7. But according to Tony, really anything over 2 is going to be fantastic for your practice routine. So then you get to see what your current login streak is, what your longest ever streak is, and then what your total logins are. So for those of you who like to compete with yourself, you can of course go for that longest streak and constantly breaking your records. So we hope you like it, and we would really love your feedback, and we're always looking for different ways to improve this, but just wanted to give you a quick overview.
Well, thank you, Levi. I really do appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Noah, just for doing what you do.
You are most welcome.
Any other? We got some questions, Noah.
Absolutely.
Levi says they're flooding in, and
Yeah.
I'm just dying to.
Let's
like I said, I got a hankering.
Let's roll. All right. Random reaction here. I'm 13 and between a Martin Mini and a Martin Junior. What should I choose for my size? I'm about 5'5".
I think so. I get this question actually a lot, and I'll just I'm gonna come out on the record. So Taylor GS Mini versus the Martin Dread Jr. What do I get? Actually, TAC member Scott just was in the same predicament. He lives here in Bozeman, and he texted me and he's like, Tone, what do I do in this situation? Because I love the GS Mini and I love the Martin Dreadnought Jr. And I think what you really have to ask yourself is, what voice do you like the best? I have reviews on both. I've reviewed both of them many times, and I do truly love them both, but for different reasons. The GS Mini offers great responsiveness because of the relief route that they use on it and the bracing that they use on it. It offers really wonderful articulation and brilliance on the high end. And it's just a really comfy traveler. It's a little bit of a smaller body shape. So if you find yourself a smaller person, or you have smaller kind of fretting hands and what have you, that's a better choice. If you like that voice and if you like that comfort, that's a better choice. On the other end of the spectrum, the Martin Dreadnought Jr. is also a killer guitar, but it has a much different voice. It's a little bit boomier. It's a little bit more full-bodied, less articulation, less string separation, and it has a dreadnought body, so it's a little bit more square, less curvy. So it sits on your lap a little bit differently. So maybe if you're if you're a little bit smaller, the Martin Dreadnought Jr. might be a little bit to wrestle with. But truly, they're both great guitars, and I would strongly advise, if you can, trying both of them, because they're wonderful examples of how good a travel guitar can sound. And that being the case, in your situation, being 5'5", I would maybe push you towards the GS Mini. Not necessarily a hard and fast recommendation there, but that's what my gut says. But again, if you like that bigger bodied, deeper, kind of fuller voice, the Martin Dreadnought Jr. would definitely win out. But again, they're both great guitars. It's just a matter of which voice you want to add to your guitar arsenal, if you will.
All right, thank you, Tony. All right, next here we have Ivan D. He asks, how picky should we be about maintaining the humidity of a guitar and or the room the guitar is kept?
That's a really good question. That's a really good question. I would say that, in terms of being picky, if you're going to be really picky about your humidity, be picky concerning the environment that the guitar spends most of its time in. And in my case, that's the cases. So I'm not very concerned about the room with which my guitars are housed in, because my guitars always live in the case. That being the situation, I really focus my efforts on making sure that the case is properly humidified. There's no need to get like a bunch of hygrometers all around your house, making sure every room in your house is the exact right humidity level. But conversely, if you have a guitar room and they're all out on stands, then yes, you really do have to be picky about the environment that room, what environment you keep that room in terms of humidity level. the more control you have over the humidity level, the healthier your guitars will be. And because I don't have a lot of control in terms of, I like to leave the windows open, I like to leave the doors open, and Montana's very dry, my guitars are always in the case and properly humidified in their cases. Now, if I had an enclosed room where I kept everything out on stands and things like that, that room I would be very picky about keeping it at 45% humidity. But it really depends on where your guitars live the most and how healthy you want your guitars to be. If you don't care about your guitar, I wouldn't worry too much about humidity. But being that you're likely a guitar geek, chances are you want your guitar to be as healthy as you are, so keep it properly humidified. I know it's kind of a geeky thing, but it really does wonders for the longevity of your guitar, both in terms of its structural longevity, as well as its playability in the long term. You know, you don't want to spend, $60 to $100 on a setup just to have your guitar go wonky because you haven't been humidifying it. So that's really where I try and pay the most attention. If I'm not humidifying my guitars, it affects the playability. And because I play so much, that affects how much I enjoy my guitar. So I would tend to say, go on the pickier side of things in terms of humidity.
Tony, can you humidify in the case?
Oh, absolutely. You can use. There's two products that I would recommend. I'll actually throw a third in there there's kind of three different levels. So if you find yourself playing a lot, taking the guitar in and out of the case, I really like the Damp It humidifier paired with a case humidifier. There's one called the Guardfather. It's just a little clay tablet that you soak and put in a little plastic container. So between the Damp It, which is a body guitar humidifier, and the Guardfather, which is a case humidifier, that's a really winning combination. You can also use like a soap dish with a sponge in it. Just drill some holes in the top and in the bottom. Use a 1/4-inch drill bit. Soak the sponge, wring it out, and then that'll suffice as a case humidifier as well. For those of you who maybe have a couple guitars and they all don't make it out of the case all too often, Diodario makes a humidipack system, and these are packs that are designed to maintain 45% relative humidity. They're designed to both give off humidity when necessary and kind of suck in humidity when necessary. So they act as a humidifier or a desiccant depending on the humidity in the case. So that's really great if you're not in and out of the cases all the time. And last but certainly not least, Oasis is a great humidifier brand. They make both a body humidifier for the guitar and a case humidifier. But one disclaimer on the Oasis humidifiers: it's very imperative that you keep them properly filled. And I say this because I've made the mistake of letting it dry out. And if you let it dry out, the membrane can actually crack. So when you fill it up again, it can actually leak. And we do not want open water near our instruments. So if you're going to choose an Oasis humidifier, just make sure that you're really adamant about keeping them properly filled. You don't want them to dry out to the extent that it actually damages the humidifier. So those are three options. And again, I would recommend all of those. It just depends on how in and out of your case you actually are.
All right, Tony, JF pops in a question here. I'm just growing my first beard, 1 month in.
Congratulations.
Any product plugs you can recommend for oil, balm, and or wash?
I'll tell you right now, yes. I have tried a lot of different beard products over we're in year 4 now of this particular beard. And I will say I just stumbled upon this brand of stuff, and if anybody's associated with this brand out there, kudos to you guys because you guys are killing it. The brand is outstanding. It's called Grave Before Shave, Grave Before Shave, Shave. And they offer a ton of different balms, oils, waxes, and also shampoos, all of which I use. And all of which are incredible. I can highly, highly recommend the Gentleman's Blend. It's got a slight touch of bourbon scent, and I can also recommend the Pine Scented Blend. Fantastic. There's an Outdoors Blend, which has citronella infused in it, which keeps the bugs away if you're an outdoors enthusiast. And those are the only 3 flavors that I've tried. Now, I also do want to plug, there's a local guy here in, I believe, Missoula, and he does a great beard balm, Austin's Beard Balm. I just got a tin of that, and I really like it. But it's non-scented, so it's just kind of your weekend kind of beard balm. But Grave Before Shave, you'll love the artwork, you'll love the product. They've got it all. kudos to you. Best of luck with the beard.
You did come in the other day, and it was noticeable. I mean, the beard was shiny.
Yeah.
The smell was pleasant.
Well, good.
It was good all around.
Well, one of the things you battle as a beard owner is you wake up, and it could be in any shape or form. It could be flung to the side. You could have slept funny, and it's all just kind of like weird. And that's just half of your face. So you can look kind of odd if you don't have the proper products.
Understood.
Yeah.
So Tony, I was kind of wondering. I think you were saying that we have 2 guitars to give away today.
Oh, yeah. We have. Okay.
And so maybe you could explain that, but maybe we spread it out. Maybe we give one away now, do some announcements, and I have another thing to throw out there.
Yeah.
We should also do a call for small wins so we can start collecting those for our
I agree with that
round
statement.
of small wins. So yeah, just wanted to kind of bring that up and you know.
Well, Levi, I actually have 3 giveaways today. I just wanted to tell you that.
Oh dang.
Let me explain. So I'll explain here. So here's the deal. Last month, I pull reports to see who completed the practice plan. And then based on who completed the practice plan, I then throw a dart after I print out their faces, and whomever the dart lands on wins a Taylor GS Mini. Well, last month, some reporting bugs, gremlins, goblins, if you will, came into the system, and the report was all funky and weird. And the person that the dart landed on hadn't logged in quite a while, so I knew something was weird. So upon further investigation, the report was funky, so I said, you know what? We're just going to do 2 giveaways for this hangout. Then, to top it off, so I'm a huge Gregory Alan Isaacoff fan. For those of you who aren't aware, he's a wonderful singer-songwriter. He's got a killer voice, and somebody who I admire quite a bit. And because he is somebody that I admire both in terms of how he plays, songwriting, arranging, the whole deal, I reached out to his management because I really wanted to interview him because he's actually playing in Bozeman tonight. And unfortunately, he was busy and some travel arrangements kind of made it impossible for him to come in for an interview. But his team was super pumped that we reached out, and they actually sent us his newest release, which is him playing with a symphony. And it's absolutely gorgeous. It's like an acoustic explosion on vinyl. So I'm going to give this away today, too. And again, thanks to Gregory's team for hooking us up with the vinyl. I'm bummed he couldn't be here, but we got the next best thing. Music that you can play for a whole afternoon. It literally is like an acoustic explosion. I love it. So without further ado, let's give something away. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give away a guitar first. Does that sound okay with you guys?
That sounds good. I think
Absolutely.
that's a fantastic idea.
I'm going for it.
Okay.
So this is going to be, Noah, for your records,
Yes.
this is going to be June's. So when you go look up the name,
Okay.
the pick,
All right.
it's going to be June's.
Got it.
So, see, the wonderful thing is some people have been changing their profile pictures to X's, which really stands out. So I'm going to do my best here. See how I did. Oh, that was a really solid hit. It was a real solid hit. Let me get that paper for you, Noah.
Okay, please.
Can you bring it over to the camera? Can you dismantle it from the other
I
paper?
can. This is really an involved process.
Yeah. Lots of small winds are rolling in as you're
good.
as you're taking your shot. So if you hold it right where your head would normally be, it'll be in focus. People can kind of see it.
So it's right here. And
Okay.
as you can see on the top, this is the June 2017 report. So I'm going to hand this off to Noah, and he will deliver us the winner
All right.
of a Taylor GS Mini. By golly.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were going to hand it off in front of the camera, but
Oh,
that's okay. I'll
sorry.
switch
He was
back
already
to
at
you.
my computer.
Okay.
He was already at my computer. So I couldn't really... I'm sorry, Noah.
It's okay.
Maybe next time.
Cool.
We'll have another chance.
Cool.
So how are you giving away the album? Do you have a way to do
Oh,
that?
I'm going to throw a dart.
Oh,
I'm going to throw a dart. It's just a bonus giveaway to those who completed the practice plan, to the lucky dart lander honor winner.
holy
So
cow.
I'll throw 2 darts.
So many small wins pouring in. This is going to be so much fun.
Awesome. I love the small win. I have a. Can I report a small win? Just to kick off the celebration.
Yeah, totally. You may. Yeah, go ahead. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. I have a killer small win. So this last weekend, my son was in town from Chicago. He's 10. He just turned 10. And lo and behold, Charlie Parr was playing in town. So we went and saw Charlie Parr. Afterwards, Aiden, my son, was so pumped. He just wanted to say hi, and Charlie was super generous with his time. He said hi. We chatted for a little bit, and I found a new artist because of watching Charlie play, Furry Lewis, which is he's an awesome old-time blues player, great finger picker, slide. So those of you who dug Charlie's stuff, you'll definitely dig Furry Lewis, and it was great. Charlie's just a heck of a guy. He's an amazing artist, an amazing human being, and that's my small win.
Awesome. Okay. So, Noah, are you getting close? Are you getting close to figuring this out?
Yes.
Okay, you are?
Well, I know who it is.
Oh, okay. So,
do?
Hold on. Is it time to give away a guitar?
It's time.
It's
Okay.
time.
Here we go. All right. Okay. It's time. So, let us know when you are ready, because we can't wait any longer. We're so excited.
So what, you want the name right now?
Well,
I mean,
that would be kind of cool.
I just want to confirm who it is, because it is a mic, and I just need to make sure that which is the right mic.
There's
Okay.
probably a lot of mics around. And when you figure out the right mic,
I will. I'll let
Noah,
you know.
can you speak into your mic?
Yes, I can speak.
So-
I can speak into the mic.
So are we
Okay, I got it.
Oh, you got it, okay.
It is Mike H. from Colorado.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mike
Colorado.
H. out of Colorado. Cheers.
Okay. Everybody.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Sorry.
Did you say Mike H?
I did. Mike H. from Colorado, Levi.
Awesome.
That was a good broadcaster voice. That was fantastic. Very good. Very good. Okay. Are we going right on with small wins? What's happening, guys?
Yes, small wins.
Or are we going to do a question before that?
Nope, let me do a run of small wins.
All right. Hit it.
Levi, are we ready for small wins?
1 second.
All right. Small wins. Stephen C. Small win, 3-month running of TAC practice, and loves the new site look.
Cool.
He loves the idea of having a streak. It really helps for motivation.
Killer.
Charles D. Small win. I got to visit Jose Ramirez guitar shop when I was in Madrid last month.
Whoa.
Very cool classical and flamenco guitars.
That is killer.
That's
a huge win.
Don H. Small win. Learning what to do with the thumb during a slide.
Fantastic.
All right, we have 11:51 a.m. Walker.
That was when they posted it, so you don't have to read the
I'm reading what you gave me.
I know, that's my fault. My
I'm
fault.
reading what you gave me.
Well, the next two are like that, so I just wanted to let you know.
Oh man. Okay, Walker R. He was wondering how the guitar giveaway works, and he's kind of seeing how it works now.
That's fantastic.
Not sure how that got on the small wins, but okay.
Again, my apologies.
Yeah.
I'm the small wins operator.
Okay. Another small win here from Water Spit 54. 1 year on TAC.
Awesome.
Woo!
Oh, an anniversary. Fantastic.
Right. Chuck H. Small win. 6 months practice without a break.
Outstanding. Heck yeah.
Mike F. I've turned a corner on finger picking using 3 fingers and a thumb. Got
Nice.
the last 2 exercises up to the fast speed, and generally finding it easier than flat picking, which was unexpected. for me.
Whoa. Heck yeah.
All right, Dustin W. Today's lick took him just 5 minutes to learn.
Heck yeah.
Kate H. I understand patterns now.
Sweet.
Alexander C. After 5 days of constantly trying to get around the clock to sound smooth, I can finally play the exercise at a medium speed.
Nice work. Good dedication. Solid.
Charlie C. Travis picking starting to come together.
Nice.
Mike F. Have started writing the song assigned in Fretboard Wizard. It's
Nice.
It's a humorous one, so I'm going to be shy about sharing it. But, well, let's just say, Mike, that we're all looking forward to hearing it.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, absolutely. There's been some good comedic songs on the forums lately,
That is true.
so
We
I've
do-
really enjoyed those.
We do laugh quite a bit
Yeah.
over here. Bob G. Around the clock, so much better when getting pick direction right.
Nice.
Helps so much with cross-picking accuracy.
Cool.
And that's a great small win. Someone was asking about the directions of picks, which we'll get to after
Yeah.
this. PB Santos, big win, composed and played a song for my son's wedding in Alaska.
Whoa,
That's huge win.
that's mega awesome. Good job.
All right. All right. Oh, I remember this member, and I want to say it's Reeves, because I asked in my welcome videos.
Yeah.
And if I'm not sure about a name, I just gotta apologize and say I probably butchered it.
Yeah.
And most people get back to me and they're like, "Yeah, you nailed it," or "No, that was terrible."
Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll that it's Reeves. Reeves C. A friend needed me to fill in for a gig. I played 2 full hours.
Holy
TAC has really increased my finger strength, and calluses are rock solid. Thanks, TAC.
Nice work. Heck yeah.
Nathan W. Traveled to Kentucky. I'm guessing that's what it is.
Please
for-
tell me you did a bourbon tour.
For a week of work and missed a bunch of lessons, but managed to catch up on all of them when I got home. My fingertips are burning.
Nice work. Very nice work.
Robert H. started using new recording equipment to practice rhythm.
That's a huge win. Some of that stuff can be a little hairy. No
John-
pun intended.
John J. singing and playing for people and writing more tunes.
Nice.
Greg P. completed the lessons portion of Old Joe Clark
Nice.
and getting ready for recording.
Sweet.
John Y. Practice, and know that it's working. I am getting better.
Fantastic.
All right, let's stop there. We'll pause there.
All right. There was a question about pick direction, did you say?
Yes. Actually, let me look over on my notes here. Tom C. asks, a lot of your lessons, you go into great detail about alternate pick directions.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it sometimes make more sense to use all downs or all ups? For example, what about playing D to G open strings? Wouldn't it make more sense to either pick down or up on both of those?
So this is a fantastic question. This is a question I get a lot, and I'm going to start off by answering it like this. I want you to pick whichever way is comfortable for you, and we'll define comfortable here. As long as you can maintain tempo as it's increased, as long as you can maintain proper tone and good dynamic control of your pick, you can pick sideways for all I'm concerned. But the reason I go into such detail about pick direction is because of a small win that I actually had. And that was this. When I was working in Chicago, this is kind of when I started to get into flat picking. And I took a class at the Old Town School of Folk Music. Chris Walls taught it. He still teaches there to this day. He's an amazing player of pretty much anything with strings on it. Anyways, I took his flat picking class, and I was trying to be the good student. I was doing the extra work because I really wanted to learn the style. And the first tune that I learned was Big Sciota, and you can find that in the Song Vault. And I learned it all with downstrokes. And I showed it to Chris. This was before the first class even started. And he's like, that's really awesome. He's like, now I want you to learn that alternating your pick direction. And it just crushed me. And I'll tell you, what he told me was, as tempo gets increased, it's harder to pick the same direction one time after another, like multiple downs in a row. And you start to lose control. And it was very evident when I tried to do this. So the whole notion with pick direction is that during a steady stream of eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you'll be going down on the downbeat and up on the upbeat. And a great way to do this is you can set a metronome. In fact, I'm going to pull it up on my phone just to kind of drive home the point here. I can pick, I can do all downs on one string. And I can do that at a fairly good clip. Let's say I'll try that at 100 beats per minute, and I'll do it on eighth notes, right? So it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... as that tempo increases, I'll put it up at 160. I start to feel a little out of control. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But if I alter that pick direction and I go down on the number beats, up on the and beats, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All of a sudden, I'm doing half the work. Because whenever you do a downstroke, you have to come back up past the string and do another downstroke. So if I play 160 beats per minute and do it all on downstrokes, I'm doing twice the work that I need to. If I utilize that upstroke, I'm doing half the work. So it's really about economy of motion, and it's really about minimizing tension. The faster I go, if I just use all downstrokes or all upstrokes, all of a sudden I'm going to get really tense because I'm going to reach my speed limit. Whereas if I start alternating my picking, I can almost double my speed because I'm utilizing that upstroke. So it's very important to me that everybody understands how alternate picking can positively affect your playing, both in terms of tempo, comfortability with the flat pick, overall string accuracy, and just overall integrating your flat pick with whatever the beat is. So that's why I go into such detail on pick direction. And again, the golden rule is down on the downbeat, up on the upbeat. And if you're counting a solid measure of eighth notes, it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's why I go into such detail on the pick direction. Now, that being said, I know a lot of players that will bend and break the rule of flat picking direction. And that's okay, as long as you can maintain proper tempo and increase the tempo and have good tone and good dynamic control of your pick. That's the only criteria. So I encourage everybody to try the alternate picking. In fact, I strongly urge you to try it, even if it's uncomfortable at first, because it can really lead to a flood of light bulb moments as you start to increase speed. And really it's going to increase your comfort with the flat pick in a huge way. But again, I know that sometimes you have to bend the rule. Sometimes you have to break the rule. And that's totally okay as well.
All right, Tony. We have another announcement coming up here.
Fantastic.
We have a...
Go ahead.
Please.
No, I insist.
No, we have a challenge coming up.
We
not?
do. We do have a challenge coming up.
All right. Well,
And
tell me about it.
I think it's worthy of announcement.
Okay.
All right. So you guys may have seen the month overview for this month of practice. And you might have noticed a challenge, a very specific challenge focused on the pinky. And next week, is it this week or is it next week?
It starts this next Monday.
It starts next month. Okay, gotcha. I had a little bit of a time warp for a second. Sorry about that. But this is going to be a week dedicated to strengthening your pinky. Now, the pinky is notoriously the weakest digit on our fretting hand, and one that often gets left behind. It's little, it's tiny, it's pretty weak. So I said, you know what? Let's shine the spotlight on the pinky. Let's do a 5-day challenge, which is integrated into your practice plan. You don't have to do anything out of the ordinary. Just log in and do your practice. Just know that next week, all of the practice is focused on the pinky and strengthening it, increasing its mobility, increasing its strength, increasing its independence, increasing its stamina. So just be prepared next week because your pinky's going to be in for a little bit of a jolt. Now, the cool thing about this 5-day challenge is I'm going to start integrating more of these if you guys like these. So what I'm going to do, we're going to do that 5-day challenge, and then the following Wednesday, I'm actually going to do a live hangout dedicated to that challenge. So if any questions come up during the challenge, if you have any difficulties with the exercises, if you want more exercises, come to the live hangout and we'll discuss in great detail other ways to strengthen your pinky, more ways to get more out of the exercises that you did during the week, and just an overall celebration that you made it through the 5-day challenge. So this is the first of these 5-day challenges, and I'm super, super pumped about it. And another thing to mention, can I mention the kit and the Q&A thing?
Please.
Because it kind of goes along with it.
Go ahead, please.
So last month we launched the Fretting Hand Toolbox, and everybody really dug it. And one of the things that was very evident to me is that during the live hangout, people were asking, what's the deal with, my hand kind of cramps up, or how can I strengthen my hand? And I decided, well, I have some products that I've used in the past that have been recommended to me and that have really worked wonders, especially for hand cramps and just overall hand fatigue. So what I did is I put together a gear section on that particular course. So if you go back to Fretting Hand Toolbox, if you've already gone through it, no big deal, but if you're curious, go back to the Fretting Hand Toolbox course and you'll see a whole separate lesson entitled Gear. And all you have to do is go to this lesson, check out the gear, and you can mark it complete. And just like any other lesson on the site. And this will give you a good idea of some things that I use, some things that I recommend that may help you out. It's not for everybody, and that's totally fine. It's just some recommendations because it was a question in the live Q&A follow-up for that particular course. So I just want to throw that and throw that out to you guys and bring it to your attention. And of course, I just want to, in advance, wish everybody luck on the upcoming 5-day Pinky Challenge. I think you guys are really going to dig it, and I think we're going to have some sore pinkies in the house. That's for sure.
All right, Tony, we're coming up on our speed round.
I had to fix my mustache for that.
It's time.
It is time.
Go for it.
Here we go. Joseph N. Beginner acoustic. Mostly flat pick guitar you'd recommend under $1,000.
Yamaha FG700S on the cheaper end. I'm going to go with the Taylor 110 on the higher end.
Boom. All right, Jackson P. A little detail on the current guitar you're playing.
This is a custom OM made by Martin. I was lucky enough to be able to go out to the factory and pick these woods and design it all out. It has a really cool pearl inlaid diamond rosette that's only found on the Mark Knopfler Signature Edition. Bird's eye maple back and sides. Mother of pearl purfling around the top. Just a stark black ebony fretboard with the Foden inlay. An 1 3/4 bone nut. Maple neck, laminated with an ebony strip. Black button Waverly tuners. Unique, very custom Martin headstock that's sitting on a bird's eye maple head plate with the Martin inlaid in ebony. And it's just an overall cool guitar. I was going for kind of a tuxedo, high contrast thing, and I think it turned out really well. Actually, I built this guitar not for me. It was kind of an experiment. And once the guitar came in, I was just enamored by it and had to take it home with me. I was connected to it, and it sounded amazing. It has an Italian, a high alpine Swiss spruce top that's very, very responsive, and just a killer guitar. And thanks for noticing.
Patricia C. How long should you keep your fingernails on your picking hand?
Well, gosh, mine. I try and keep mine so that they extend past my fingertip. It allows me to dig in and get some articulation and kind of zing out of the strings when I need to. And usually my middle finger is longer too, but I had a little bit of a camping accident this weekend, and I busted my fingernail, which is always great when you're out camping and you're bummed that you busted a fingernail and you publicly proclaim it. But in short, gosh, I would say maybe a 1/16 of an inch past your fingertip, just so you can dig in and get that little crispness if you want to.
All right, Ian S. My forefinger is too fleshy on bar chords. So apart from reinforcing, right, with my middle finger, any other tips?
Yeah, you can actually rotate. So instead of using that fleshy part of your finger, the kind of the flat part, you can actually rotate your index finger so that you're using the side of your index finger. This will give you a harder fretting surface and also allow you to really feel where you might be muting the strings. So rotating your finger, that's one thing. The other thing you can do is actually use your picking hand to press your guitar into your index finger. So literally by almost kind of moving your elbow against the lower bout of your guitar, it's almost like a lever. So if you're pushing out and pulling back with your fretting finger, it'll actually help and act as a lever. So you won't have to use as much force. So hopefully those two tips will help you.
Okay, Michael P. I'm having trouble keeping time when I play. What is a good way to establish good time-keeping habits?
Fantastic question. So I would start with basic metronome. Start yourself at... let's start at, let's say, 60 beats per minute. And I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm using the Pro Metronome app. It's just a metronome app I found on the App Store that works great. I have no affiliation with them. I like it. Other than that, I like it and use it often. So I'm going to start at 60 beats per minute, and I'm going to set my clicks on quarter notes. So each time it clicks, it's going to be a beat. So I'll count along with it so you get an idea. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now with that, I want you to grab any chord you're comfortable with. I'm going to resort to the G because it's just my favorite chord. And I want you to just do a steady down strum on those clicks. And you can count along with it if it doesn't throw you off. So it'll be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your first step. Okay, your second step is to start integrating eighth notes. And I like to use a common strumming pattern for this because I think it helps really integrate rhythm into your playing, really kind of to understand rhythm and playing in tempo. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play eighth notes, and we're going to do it on the 2 beat and the 4 beat. So it'll go 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Okay? And I'll count along with it first, and then I'll do the strumming. 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Now, one of the things that I want to mention is you can actually work on rhythm without your guitar. And this may seem a little goofy, but you can just start a metronome and count along with it. And what I would do is alternate between steady quarter notes and eighth notes. So something like this. 2, 3, 4. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Just that act alone will give you a whole new perspective on playing in tempo and really what playing in tempo feels like. And when you start to integrate those basic strums with the metronome, that is huge. One of the pitfalls I see a lot of players go through is they pick a very complicated strumming pattern and they try and count along with it. It's like it's way too many things are happening all at once. So strip it down to just quarter notes. When you're comfortable with that, start integrating some eighth notes and then integrate more until you really get an understanding of what it sounds like with those eighth notes. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. And again, a great way is to just literally sit and count with a metronome. You don't have to do it all day. You can do it for 2 minutes just to kind of really reinforce what timing sounds like and most importantly, what it feels like. That was not the speediest of
I'm
speed
glad
round
you
questions.
said that. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
We're
going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
Tony, let's give away the second guitar.
Oh, let's please do. Can I give away the album at the same time?
Please. Why
Okay.
not? Double it up.
So I'm going to throw 2 darts. One of them is going to have the American flag, and I'm going to go German. One of them is going to have the German flag. The German flag is going to be for the album. The American flag is going to be for the guitar.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it?
Sure.
Okay.
Why can't the German give away the guitar?
Don't
Okay.
confuse me right now. This is the American flag. This is for the guitar. That was a good solid hit. This is the German flag. This is for the album.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed the thing.
You should.
Let me try again. I'm sorry. This is what it's like playing darts. Oh, I missed. Oh, no,
Ooh,
I didn't.
nice.
I did.
No.
I got it.
Oh, you
Good
missed?
hit. Good hit. Oh, I know who that is.
Okay, don't mix up the holes.
I won't.
I know. I got it. The one on the right is the album. The one on the left is the guitar.
That is correct.
Okay.
I got it. I'm going to
Show
collect
it to the camera.
Yeah, can I do the handoff?
Yeah.
Sure. Yes.
I actually know the album winner, but
Oh, okay, that's cool. All right. The bell just went off. Let's give away the guitar.
all right. So Noah, please inform me when you have a moment who indeed won the guitar.
George Carter really wants a new
I will do
guitar.
that.
Thanks, Noah.
How do you get to your spiel?
My spiel?
Yeah, that.
How do I get to my spiel? Oh, let me show you.
I'll do some shout outs here. Those guys are over at some other computer. So hey to Mary C, Sharon T, Carol M, saw Maggie in there, the Freddie K13, who I believe is a brand new member, Chuck Haran. I'm kind of going up on the comments here, so I might repeat some. Just giving a shout out to Michael S, Adam P, Ash, David S, how's it going? Jackson P, Rogerio Lemons, who had a small win that we're going to talk about in a few. Tim Thomas, Bill S, Alexander Coffin, and then who else from the very beginning here?
I'm back.
Charles Edwards. You back?
I'm back. I want to, before we announce,
Yes.
can I
Okay,
just
so
give
that
a
was
quick,
just some
since you're doing
shout-outs here.
shout outs,
Yeah, go
I want to
ahead.
give a shout out to Corey, a TAC member Corey, who saw the Weeble Wobbles exercise and kindly sent us an awesome letter. So thank you, Corey, for the thank you note and the killer letter. But not only did he send us a letter and a thank you note, he actually sent us some Weeble Wobbles, which I haven't opened yet for fear that it might cause a rift between the three of us, because we're going to all want to play with them at once. And
I love Weeble Wobbles, but you guys can have them. I'm cool with it.
See, this is how it starts.
No, seriously.
But seriously, Corey, thank you, because these are fun. And you know what? The great thing about Weeble Wobbles is they weeble and they wobble, but they don't fall down. Except for when you do that.
All right, we ready?
Hit us.
All right, so the album winner
The Gregory Alan Isaacoff album winner,
is Cameron B.
Cameron B.
Cameron B.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Yay.
You won yourself an album.
Cameron.
And I also want to mention something about Cameron.
Yes.
He did a Facebook Live interview. He posted a link on the forum. He's a professional singer.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
So, yeah, check that out too.
this. Yeah, okay.
Congratulations on the album.
And for the guitar, we have Bryce E. from California.
Yeah, Bryce. Right.
Congratulations, Bryce E. Congratulations.
Now it's probably good to say what qualifies you to win a guitar.
Well, no, I'm very glad that you asked. So to win a guitar, you have to go through the entire month and practice every single day. What does that mean? Well, in Tony's Acoustic Challenge, you get your practice plan for the month, and every day a new exercise is released. And if you go through that entire month and spend 10 focused minutes on each exercise, you don't have to master it. You don't have to play it at the fastest tempo. You just have to try it for 10 focused minutes. You can mark that exercise complete. And at the end of the month, if you marked all the exercises complete, you get a killer practice badge that says, hey, you just practiced for a month straight. And not only do you get that badge, that qualifies you to get a chance to win a Taylor GS Mini, which is pretty killer.
Tony, what if I do the 10-minute practice, but I'm still not that good at it, and I can only really do it at the slowest speed?
Totally fine. You don't even have to do it at any speed. The whole notion here is to just expose yourself to something new. And that's why I say spend 10 focused minutes. Sometimes the exercise is going to take you to another magical land, and you're going to look at the clock and be like, wow, that was an hour and a half. What the hell just happened? And sometimes you're going to be looking at the clock being like, oh, is it 10 minutes yet? Because I can't stand this exercise. Both situations are okay, because both situations have you sitting down with your guitar. And if you just do 10 focused minutes, that's fine. That's a great win. If you spend an hour and a half, that's a great win too. Either way is awesome because you're trying something new, and most importantly, you're dedicating some time during your day to practice, and that's really all that I want.
All right, Tony, we're drawing to an end here, so
Okay.
we're going to bang out with some additional small wins,
Killer.
and then you can give them the activity code,
Awesome.
and we can be well on our way.
I almost forgot the activity code, and I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, with our checklist that we have,
Yeah.
I mean, nothing is going to fall through the cracks. All right, so some small wins are coming.
Let's do some small wins, shall we?
Awesome. Yeah, I wonder why you pointed at you.
I know.
All right.
I was confused.
Joseph N. Intro to Needle and the Damage done.
Killer.
Russell M. Completed 8 months of practice.
Holy smokes. Great job, Russell.
Matt W. Completed July's practice plan.
Fantastic work. It's tough to do in the summer, so big kudos.
And hopefully I say this right. Raji R. Finished all lessons for July and able to do some slow speed lessons.
Nice work.
Joe R. 10 months straight practice and maybe a handle on triplets.
Nice work.
Sharon T. Able to hit slow and medium speeds on some of the lessons now.
Nice job, Sharon.
Kate H. Smooth FP with the forward roll. Was that finger picking?
Finger picking, yeah.
Finger picking. Yep. Andy A. Couldn't do bar chord a month ago. Now I can do an F, a G, an A, a D, and an E bar chords.
That's outstanding.
Ash. I started making arrangement by ear. I made fingerstyle arrangement of Jingle Bells.
Nice work. That's awesome.
Donna R. Just found the sweet spot for the palm muting.
Oh, killer. Nice work. That's pretty good. I mean, we just talked about that a mere 45 minutes ago.
Yes, we did. Rogerio, who I think goes by Roy, new TAC user and first practice done. Difficult, but motivated.
Awesome. Welcome aboard.
Right. Mini 0705 just finished their first months of lessons with TAC.
Nice job.
Arv H, every week my pinky is getting stronger. And that's even after he fell down the stairs.
I was gonna say
yeah.
this 5-day pinky challenge is gonna be right up his alley because I know there was an injury involved.
All right, the Freddie K13 joined TAC a week ago, and this is his first live hangout today.
Congratulations! Welcome aboard.
Yes, welcome. Kim K is getting up at 5 a.m. to watch this live, and then also getting to see the sunrise.
Double whammy.
Dave S. He wore a blue shirt today too.
Well, I mean, you can't beat that. Is that Sherpa Dave?
Dave S.
Could be. Could very well be.
Yeah, it could very well be.
If it is, nice job on the blue shirt. He apparently got the memo as well. That didn't get sent out, but.
All right, and that's it.
That's it for small wins?
Yeah. What's the activity code?
Well, guys, I just want to tell you, taking the glasses off means I'm being serious. Seriously, thank you for spending time with us today and sharing some of your day with us. You guys make this possible. And, of course, I want to give you points for being here. So the activity code today is all lowercase, all one word, bullseye. That's the activity code. And all you have to do to enter this activity code is go to your Tony's Acoustic Challenge homepage, log in, make sure you're logged in, click on the live link in the top menu, and then in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see a spot where you can enter the activity code, and that's where you're going to type in bullseye, all lowercase, no spaces, BULLSEYE. Go ahead and type that in, hit submit. You'll get a fancy new badge, a handful of points, and a huge thanks from us for being here today. Great questions today. Thanks for hanging with us.
Thanks for what was that? 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of just radio silence while we figured out the internet.
Yeah.
It felt longer. I gotta be honest, but
might be 3 minutes, but it felt like 20.
and kudos. I want to also thank both Levi and Noah. Noah for fielding questions and using his best broadcaster voice, and Levi for operating 15 mouses, 17 keyboards, 32 USB thumb drives, and the internet connection today. So seriously, thank you guys, and of course, thank you guys at home for being here and hanging out with us today. I wish you the most awesome rest of the day. Keep up the good work, keep up the positivity, and of course, keep practicing as well. Have a great rest of the day. Cheers, guys.
See you guys.
My name is Tony Policastro. I'm part of an underground group of acoustic guitar enthusiasts you've probably never heard of. We're not here to play face-melting guitar solos or judge other guitar players. Our purpose is much greater than that. For us, it's about expanding our quality of life through music and having fun with our guitar, not just mastering it. Getting better at guitar is proof that we do have what it takes to be a guitar player, which means we can build stronger bonds with friends and create lasting musical family traditions. But if you asked a guitar snob or a music academic, they would turn up their nose and say their way is better. Yet this way of seeing the guitar is changing lives every single day. We follow a specific framework and set of values that keeps us focused on what matters most: human connection, constant progress, and fun. It's happening, and we call it living the acoustic life. This is our acoustic life, and these are our stories.